Hey everybody, welcome to the broadcast. I'm Bill from Billrodecom. It's great to have you here. And today we are celebrating the great state of Iowa. Today, maybe you've heard, it is National Iowa Day, celebrating the 29th state. And I thought, who could we have come on to talk about Iowa? Who knows Iowa better than most? And I thought, oh, I know the perfect person. We'll have Sara. There she is, Sara Browers from Travel with Sara. How are you? Welcome. Happy Iowa Day.
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you got it. I know you live in Iowa. You are a popular travel blogger. You know the ins and outs of the state. And so I thought it'd be great to have you come on and talk a little bit about Iowa, and for people who are looking to plan those road trips for the spring and summer and into the fall, with hopefully return to normalcy, or at least a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought you'd be a great person to have come on. So the first thing that I will just throw out at you, I seem to find that people who live in Iowa, not all, but a lot of people that live in Iowa, really have this sort of, it's going to sound weird, but, kind of this team spirit that, boy, they love their state. They are so proud of their state. And I wonder if that sort of stems from, Iowa getting kicked around a little bit, kind of like Kansas. We're like, there's nothing to do in Iowa. And you obviously, you know better. Am I on to something there, or am I losing my mind?
No, I think you're on to something, but I always think that, in Iowa, I can tell you, I will never forget the moment I was standing in a campground in Colorado. This is like probably 25 years ago. I was at a pay phone making a phone call, and somebody asked me after I hung up the phone, "Where are you from?" I said, "Iowa." And they said, "Oh, Ohio, where they grow the potatoes."
Oh my
And at
gosh.
that point, I realized that people don't know Iowa. I'm
Uh,
like, we might have a few potatoes, but you got a few states mixed up there. So people in Iowa, and let me tell you this, the thing that I really like about my home state is we have great people here. And you are onto something, because we do, we don't have the oceans, we don't have the mountains. So we have people, but we have some amazing experiences in rural America, and we're in America's heartland. And I live 30 miles south of the Minnesota border, near Mason City and Clear Lake. So when I say I live in Iowa, and then people will ask me, well, where in Iowa? And I'll say Mason City, Clear Lake area. And they kind of go, And I say 30 miles south of the Minnesota border. Oh, you're way up there.
yeah. No, you're right. And it's a shame, but it is what it is. People, just generally speaking, they don't know. They just don't know the map. I remember when I lived in Southern California. I moved out there for a brief period of time in my earlier years. Went to high school out there, and I remember having moved from St. Louis, Missouri, out there, and talking with kids who were in my class in high school, and they said, "Well, where were you from?" I said, "Well, I was from St. Louis," and they're like, "Oh, you lived up there?" No, I didn't. I didn't live up there. It may be over there, like up. I mean, so people just know. I have no clue. It's whatever. It is. I hope our audience here has a clue and knows where Iowa is. I want to show
And
this
if
photo
you
real
think
quick.
about it,
What's that?
if you think about it, does everybody have to know if it's over there, or up there, or down there? I think we that work in the travel space, we are a little pickier about that. But I would like to think that people do have a general idea of where we are.
You have more optimism than I do, Sara. I want to show this picture real quick. You sent this to me last night. This is from essentially, this is in your backyard in Iowa. This is right behind your
Yeah.
house. So beautiful.
Yeah, this is a pasture that is right by my house. And summertime, end of June, through July, Iowa is absolutely stunning. And this really reflects what you can see when you get off the beaten path and come to Iowa in the summertime. The wildflowers, and look at the vast open space. Physical distancing, that's a term we all are very familiar with now. And I will say, I've been blessed to have this space near me in my backyard during a time when I've, been kind of grounded to home. And some people have complained that they've been grounded to home. And I think all of us can at some point or something. But as with anything, I can guarantee you have treasures in your own backyard. And Iowa is the same way. There's something around every corner.
Yeah. I have squirrels in my backyard. I don't know if I'd call them treasures.
Well, we don't have squirrels because we have dogs that don't like them.
Oh, well, maybe that's what I need. I need to get a dog. Uh,
Yeah.
so I want to go through a few of these photos that we have here and talk a little bit about something. Now, I have been to Iowa many times. I know a lot of people, when you say what's there to do, the first thing you probably, maybe we'll go to the Field of Dreams or whatever. But there are other things. And so let's just go through a couple of them real quick here. And again, it's National Iowa Day. So we thought we'd celebrate by showing off a few things. This was another picture you sent to me. This is beautiful. Where is
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, so this is Pikes Peak State Park. This is over in northeast Iowa. That is the Mississippi River.
Okay.
Pikes Peak State Park offers, you're going to find this interesting, waterfalls, hiking. I mean, you're hiking right along a cliff. Bald eagles obviously are numerous here. And it's a great place for picnicking, camping, biking, and great views of the Mississippi River. It's a great area of Iowa, and it sits south of Allamakee County. And Allamakee County is in the far northeast corner of Iowa, and that's where Yellow River State Forest is. And Yellow River State Forest is thousands of acres of outdoor nature experiences. And people literally, I should have sent you a picture of this, but we only have time for so many things and different things as well. But people compare it to outdoor experiences like they would find, and obviously you don't have the huge mountains, but what you would find in Montana and Colorado. And that's Iowa.
And I have to
Iowa,
tell you,
people,
having
it's not all
I
flat.
live in St. Louis, and I have to tell you, the Mississippi River does not look that pretty down here. You guys get the good part of the water. By the time it gets down to St. Louis, it's a little more on the muddy end. Let's go to the next one we have. Oh, so now you don't know what this is.
I don't know where this is.
So I mentioned to you earlier that I've done some trips in Iowa. I did a story actually for the Iowa Tourism Department a couple of years ago, and it was on quirky places to stay in the state of Iowa, because
Okay.
that's kind of right up my
Yeah.
wheelhouse here. So this is a caboose. This is in Decorah.
I was just going to say that's Decorah. I've heard about it.
It's Decorah, Iowa. It's a caboose, and there's a guy who he rents these out, and he also has a grain silo right on the other side. And you go and you stay, and there it is. There's the inside, and it's just kind of a fun little quirky place to spend the night if you're traveling through and you're looking for something kind of out of the way. They've got there's a queen. I think there's bunk beds, and there's like an upper chamber area there where you can sleep on a queen bed, and it's a cool little fun little thing, and that's in Decorah, Iowa. That was one. Now I'm embarrassed that the next one I'm going to show you, also a quirky place to stay, and please forgive me, state of Iowa. I don't remember what city it was in, but if you go to BillOnTheRoad.com, I've got it all there. I promise you. But this is a guy who he renovated an old filling station essentially, I should say made it to look like an old filling station. And I'll never forget. And inside, of course, you can stay the night and all this stuff. And I'll never forget when I interviewed the guy. He said that it's so authentic looking that they'll have people stop by to get gas, and he's like, "Yeah, no, these don't work. This is just it's a place for people to stay." So. Definitely check that out, and those are at BillOnTheRoad.com if you want to find the quirky places to stay. So you know what this is. I know what this is. This is in Winterset, the John Wayne Museum. I love Winterset.
John Wayne Birthplace Museum in Winterset. Winterset is one of those towns. It's a short drive from Des Moines and right off of I-35 and I-80, easy to get to. It is just a neat town. You know what I love most about Winterset, though, is their town square.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have a beautiful town square. They also have a quilt museum there.
They do.
That's
Yeah.
another attraction that they have. But the
Yeah.
John Wayne Birthplace Museum, if you don't know anything about John Wayne, trust me, if you go there, you will go down a rabbit hole of John Wayne memorabilia and find yourself in there for a few hours.
Yeah, absolutely. And a big shout out to Brian Downs, friend of mine. He big part in getting that museum up and running in Winterset, and it's fantastic. And you're right, the town square, it's wonderful. And I've been there. I went there not as an accident, but it was just kind of one of those things. It just sort of happened. And you're talking about people in Iowa being friendly. Met so many nice people, and now I have been there enough times
Mhm.
where, no joke, the last time I was there, I was walking in that square, and I had somebody from the town recognize me and come up to say hello, and I was like, so now I'm to the point where I know the neighborhood, and it's
Yeah.
wonderful. It's just a really neat city, and also not necessarily Winterset, but in Madison County.
Yeah.
Oh, I've cut off the top of the bridge there. It's one of the bridges of
It
Madison,
happens.
bridges of Madison County, and that's I wasn't a fan of the movie necessarily, but seeing the bridges is pretty cool.
Yeah, and the Covered Bridges Scenic Byway is several miles around there that takes you through all the bridges, and it's just beautiful countryside. And if you drive the scenic Covered Bridges Scenic Byway in Madison County, there you're up and down gravel roads. It's just beautiful. And again, June and July and the first part of August are just really it's really a rich time to go there. But fall is exceptional too
Yeah.
because of the fall colors that we do get in Iowa. And I'm not a big fan of winter. And this is something I do want to do here this winter is to get down there to the bridges in the snow. I have not been down there around the bridges in the snow in the wintertime because I do think they'd be really pretty.
Yeah, I would think so as well. I was there I usually find myself there in the summer, or maybe early
I think most
spring.
people do.
Yeah, and I took my drone up over some of them. In fact, now I'm mad at myself for not inserting some of the drone footage that I have over these great bridges. And people kayak in the river, and it's just
Yeah.
a really cool area. Let's talk
Yeah,
about
and
this. Is
even if you didn't like the movies, go see it. It's totally different than the
yeah,
movie. It's a totally different
movies
experience.
horrible. Sorry. Okay,
I wasn't a fan either.
this is your neck of the woods, I believe, right? Pretty close.
Yes, this is my home stomping ground. That's actually probably about 20 miles from my house.
Okay.
That's the Buddy Holly crash site, which is about a quarter mile to the west of the iconic glasses that sit by the road.
Yeah, yeah, and there's me. I mentioned in my Where's Waldo outfit, in the middle of town. And yeah, and I found this on. Well, I guess I found it on one of the roadside attraction apps quite a while
Yeah.
ago, and then I think it was last year or the year before, as I was driving down the highway, I saw the sign for just the town, and it just was like, what do I know about that town? What is there? What is? Oh yeah, that's right. And it was an easy drive right off of the. It wasn't bad at all to find.
Yeah. Yeah. What is so amazing to me though, that 60 plus years later, people are still going out to that crash site and leaving things there every day. And I usually make a couple treks out to it a year. And every time I'm there, there's cars from several other states. It's really phenomenal, really phenomenal. And it is easy to get to. It's right off of I-35 in North
Yeah,
Iowa.
yeah, it was really easy to find. And you're right, Buddy Holly just left a tremendous mark on the music world, but also American culture. I'm looking forward to going to the recording studio where he produced those early songs in New Mexico. Clovis, New Mexico, I believe, is the town.
Oh, wow.
So I'll be doing that hopefully later this year. Let's see what else we have on the photo loop. So there's our state capital of Iowa, which has that beautiful dome. This was a picture I took in the
Iowa, the
rain.
state capital, is it's beautiful, and maybe I'm partial to it, but it is one of the most beautiful in the country. And they actually, state of Iowa's actually just spent some money, refurbishing it and taking care of it and that kind of thing. But if you ever are in Des Moines and traveling through, and you've got a little bit of time, or you're in Des Moines, you've walked through the John Papa John Sculpture Park and want to do something a little different, go see some more sculpture, architecture. Just go to the state capitol. Even the grounds, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice. And there's another thing that I forgot, and I should have put this on. Shame on me for not including it. As a fan of the game pickleball, Sarah, I don't know if you ever played pickleball. If
I
you
need
go
to play
to,
pickleball. I need to start doing that.
oh, I haven't been able to play much in the last few months, but there is a place called Smash Park. Okay, and
Yeah,
it's in Des
yeah.
Moines,
It's in
and
Des
they
Moines. Yeah.
yeah, and they have West Des Moines, yeah, and they have a pickleball courts, but there's also a kind of an entertainment complex where people can go and play other
Mhm.
games, yard games, and it is so much fun. It's definitely recommend people check that out as well. In the last minute or so that we have with you, tell me a little bit about your website. Tell folks kind of what you cover and how they can follow along with your travels as well.
Okay, well, you can go to travelwithsara.com and you can follow me there. You can also follow the Midwest Travel Network. That'll give you inspiration for travel across the Midwest. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I love connecting with all of you. Reach out, and I'd love to help you. Come to Iowa and visit. We'll roll out the red carpet, and I can guarantee you you'll have a fun time.
And she won't leave you in a cornfield somewhere, she promises.
I won't do that.
And I will say Sarah
I'll
is
show you
probably
a cornfield, but I won't leave you there.
I will say Sarah is probably one of the most optimistic, positive people I've ever met in my entire life. We met in person a year or so ago in
Yeah.
I don't know where that
In
was.
the big town of Medora.
That's right. It was in North Dakota. I remember that now. Yeah. And but seeing your posts and your stories, you're very optimistic and positive, and we certainly need more of that these days. So thank you for that, and be sure to follow her. Travel with Sara, and I hope to connect in person soon, whether in Iowa
Yes,
or somewhere else in our great country.
it'll happen.
All right. Thanks,
Thank
Sarah. Have a
you.
good day. And
Thanks
happy
a lot.
happy National Iowa Day, however you plan to celebrate. If you want some more, of course, you can always go to BillOnTheRoad.com. I mentioned that piece on the quirky places to stay in Iowa. That's there. It's also, I know, on the official Iowa tourism website as well if you want to search for that. That's it. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.